Live from Phoenix, Arizona, we welcome race fans one and all to the Advanced Auto Parts 156, where we get set to crown the champion of the 2021 iRacing Stock Car Association ButtKicker Super Cup Series. Hello and welcome one and all to the show here as we get set to swing over westward for the final race here on this 2021 season. My name is Nola Rempo. I'll be bringing you all the coverage tonight from start to finish with Rob Melnick down behind the cameras here for today's race. So qualifying is underway and we get set to go racing for what could be a very crucial race for a lot of these drivers tonight. Two drivers get set to duke it out for the championship race tonight. Those drivers, of course, being Justin Levine and Kyle Labrie. Both drivers have had their points reset from Martinsville just 1 week ago, and it will be a straight-up dead heat coming towards the end of this race tonight, which means this could end up being a winner-takes-all situation. Currently, Kyle Labrie sits 4th place in the qualifying boards, but over a 1/10 of a second behind third-place runner Josh Schaffner. Levine has yet to set a time. We'll have to see what Justin Levine will be able to do. Levine so far has been the driver to beat so far all season long. He has proven that he has got more than enough speed underneath that Abruzzi frontline number 19 machine to potentially come away with a championship tonight. The important thing to note as well, Labrie and Levine, both frontline esports teammates coming here into today's race, which could have a bit of a factor into how this race could play out. Will Labrie sit back and allow the faster driver of the two, Justin Levine, to take that championship? Or does he opt to give that number 19 a bit of a run for his money? Only one way to find out, and that is, of course, to stick with us here for the Advanced Auto Parts 156 from the Phoenix Raceway, and we'll see how this race could play out. You'll probably notice this is a brand new layout of Phoenix. Of course, you have that good old start-finish line that is now, of course, altered to where it should be, as it is in the real world, just off of the new NASCAR Turn 4. This, of course, means updated banking, updated track surfaces, updated dog legs, and more. We'll get to all of those details here later on in tonight's presentation. 30 seconds remaining in qualifying. Levine sets a 26.243 for his qualifying effort. Good enough for 6th place, but Labrie will be starting directly in front of him up on row number 2. So Justin Levine has been the strongest of these drivers so far throughout the course of this season. He'll be starting his championship hunt here, though, it would seem, on the back foot. So 10 seconds left here in qualifying. Let's take a quick swing on down to the United States of America national anthem, and we'll be back with you with this 156 lap race in just a moment.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the
So, starting on the front row here in today's season finale, it is none other than multi-race winner Clayton Hopper with Noah Bitts beside him on the front row. Josh Shovner starts in third place with Kyle Labrie, championship contender, down in fourth. David Phillips II starts in fifth place with Justin Levine in sixth. Will Barlow is in seventh place with Wayne Grossi down at eighth on road number 4. Rounding up the top half of the field, you've got John Mullins and Al Kozlowski, Paul Schmallenberg, and Paul Daniels II down road number 6. Row 7 holds Randy Drummiller and Kenny Powell. Jeffrey Souza, the last driver to set the qualifying time with a 32.227 down to 15th place, followed by Roy Hyde. Drivers that have not set qualifying laps include Greg Wyszynski, Brian Littleton, Mark Sanchez, Matthew McMeekin, and Paul Regney. So 156 laps getting set to get underway here for the Phoenix Raceway. Of course, 3 stages as always, stages in increments of 40, then 1 at 85, and then we get set to duke this race out for the finals, about 70 or so laps of this race. 5 tire sets available for these drivers tonight with 59 laps of fuel is the estimated fuel window. Track temperature, solid 87 degrees Fahrenheit down there on the track. Winds blowing to the north at a pretty breezy 7 miles an hour. So we'll see how this could all play out for us here from Avondale, Arizona. So we get set to go racing here from the Phoenix Raceway here for the first time of the season and what will be the last time of the 2021 Super Cup Series season as well. This race, of course, brought to you by both ButtKicker and Advanced Auto Parts. So we'll take a step away, give a shout out to the guys that help us to keep the lights on here at the Irish Stock Car Association. And we'll be back for the green flag.
Get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. Order online or via our mobile app with Advanced Same Day. Get same day pickup, same day curbside, or same day delivery. Advance your auto. Advance Auto Parts.
So we get set to go racing 156 laps, 156 miles here from the Phoenix Raceway to crown a champion. For those of you just tuning in to the broadcast, hello and welcome to the show, to the Advanced Auto Parts 156 of the season finale of the 2021 iRacing Stock Car Association ButtKicker Super Cup Series. Justin Levine and Kyle Labrie going to be the 2 drivers to watch for today. Frontline teammates are the only 2 title contenders. Labrie 4th. Levine, you can see just behind him in the number 19 car down in 6th place. But it will be the strangely black machine of the number 92 car going to be set to lead this race off as the pace car starts to roll. Interestingly enough, Hoffman not running the traditional G&G colors. So we'll have to see what he'll be able to do for us tonight. Of course, he got the Aflac 87 machine, that Ford Mustang, driven by Noah Bitts. That has looked very strong the last few races and had a good outing over in Martinsville just 1 week ago. So this should mean it could be an interesting race coming in for us here tonight. Pace car going to get set to pull down to pit road, but of course, do not forget, this is not where the race is going to start. Of course, start-finish line now all the way over just off of NASCAR 4 on the front straightaway for the dog leg. And while you can't technically go as soon as the pace car pulls off, drivers have been ordered to maintain their pace up to the Geico restart zone in NASCAR 3 and 4. So, we thank you all for joining us here on a beautiful Thursday night. We get set to crown a champion here for the Phoenix Raceway. So we say, let's go racing from Phoenix as Clayton Hoffman leads them back to the green. Clayton Hoffman leads the opening lap here from Phoenix, well clear of Josh Shovner, who puts his way up into that number 2 position. Kyle Labrie has been able to keep Justin Levine at bay for now for 4th and 5th place on the track. David Phillips II is tucked in line for 6th place. First side-by-side battle between Al Kozlowski and John Mullins deeper in the field. The battle for 8th place raging on, and you see John Mullins having to defend as Kozlowski throws one up the inside of turn 3 out of 4. Kozlowski clears, entering the dog leg. And behind, contact for Souza and Wayne Grossi The number 14 car getting a bit close with the number 7 Chevrolet's rear bumper, and that allows Schmallenberg to make up a spot as well as Greg Wachinski trying to now throw his hat into the ring as Souza has damage, but Wachinski loose out of turn number 2, and that caused him to lose a spot to Jeffrey Souza. You saw Grossi trying to throw him down the inside of Paul Daniel in the second, but Daniel through the block. Trouble for the 41 car, sideways, middle of the field. Matthew McMeekin goes around, and we get caution number 1 on the day. Potentially tipped by Kenny Powell in the number 24 car. I'll get a look at that one in just a moment here. Brian Littleton was also collected that one, so was Roy Hyde. So watch back here for that number 41 car. Matthew McMeekin coming into turns 3 and 4. Did not take long for caution number 1 of the night. And, well, I think that tells you all the story you need to know. Nothing Powell could do about that. Nothing McMeekin could have done about that. Just unfortunate circumstance and some pretty hefty connection issues on iRacing's part there to kind of cause that first yellow of the day. That collects a total of 4 drivers. Littleton and Hyde both got into McMeekin as he went for a 360 spin. Unsurprisingly, not a lot of drivers are coming down except for Justin Levine making the dive to pit road of the number 19 car. This is a very bold call here for that bruising number 19. I did not expect to see this. A championship contender coming on in on just the 5th lap of the race. The only possibility I could think for Levine wanting to do this is if he ended up having some sort of major issue, potentially having a qualifying setup in that car, as opposed to, the race setup, which is definitely not an impossible thing. It's been something that drivers have made mistakes on in the past, so we'll see what the case will be here for Justin Levine. I could expect, if that is the case, hopping out of the car. Wrong setup for Justin Levine. Had the qualifying setup in that car instead of the race setup. That puts the 19 car on the back foot very early on here. Kyle Labrie could gap him here quite significantly on stage points if Levine can't work his way back up into the point standings. Not surprising to see Jeffrey Souza coming down pit road to fix up some damage after he made nose-to-tail contact with Wayne Grossi. Grossi also to fix the rear-end damage for that incident. Randy Drumhiller, interestingly, made a look to come down pit road. Took a fuel-only stop for the number 44 car, looking to top up a little bit. He was already near the back anyway, so no troubles there. Littleton was fixing up damage, so was Roy Hyde. And just now, Justin Levine exiting pit road. So lights out on the pace car. Hoffman leader with Schaffner second place. Once again, Clayton Hoffman looking set to take this field back to green. So the 92 car going to get set to take this one back to green is Josh Schaffner. It's going to be on his outside. We'll see what the number 50 car can do on this restart. Clayton Hoffman is going to take them back to the green flag. Oh, trouble for Bitts way down to the inside, getting loose for the 87 car, but he tucks in line just nicely, trying to make his way up and overtake Schaffner for that second position. Hoffman up the racetrack, though, pushing 2 wide. Going to be 3 wide for the race lead. Out of turn 2, more contact. Bitts goes around, and he'll hit the inside wall. And we don't even make it a lap. Oh, and more trouble for Roy Hyde. Thought that might have been Levine for a second there. And that was 3 wide for the race lead, pushing too aggressively early in the race, gentlemen. And what a ride for Jeffrey Souza. Got to get a look on board the 14 because he just avoided that mess. It was contact between Bitts and Josh Schaffner. Take a ride on board here with Jeffrey Souza and watch this mess. It'll develop up in front of you. You can see Bitts on the inside of Schaffner, 3 wide. And the car is going to go right about here. As he fits to the inside line, Souza got cars to his outside, nowhere to go. Has to shoot for the bottom and just scrapes through that one unscathed. Good job with that 14 car for slowing it down. Noah Bitts, meanwhile, unfortunate for himself as well. You got Roy Hyde that got collected in that one big time as well. That was a part of the massive checkup that resulted as a result of that wreck. And McMeekin got, he's the one that just pile drive the 13 car coming out of turn number 2 and sent 13 hard into that inside wall as well. So unfortunate for a couple of drivers that got collected this one. Roy Hyde in his second incident of the day already. Noah Bitts is collected. McMeekin for his second incident of the day. And we're just 10 laps into this race. And a long way to go as well. Let's take a quick step away. We'll be back in a moment.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at thebuttkicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
And back live here from the Phoenix Raceway. Shout out, of course, to ButtKicker doing a great job on making sure we can keep this production underway for you folks over there at home, whether that be on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or everything in between if you're a guy like myself. Don't forget, you can get 20% off on all ButtKicker products by using that promo code ISCA20 at thebuttkicker.com. Coming to the end of lap 11, and already caution number 2. Some drivers pushing too aggressively. You wonder if potentially, though, this has got to do more with the fact that it is, of course, technically a brand new track, as the layout drivers are familiar with. But, of course, brand new scan. And drivers want to kind of get the leg up on a couple of guys. Green flag going to come back out this time by Hoppin, leads them back. Good launch as always for the 92 car. And how about Al Kozlowski? Look at the double 8 car, the 88 around the outside line. He's been doing a good job to work his way up into the top 10, but he's going to lose his spot now. The John Mullins might find himself 3 wide of Daniel II. Throws one around the outside line. That's not going to go anywhere for him. Potential move for the race lead, though. Schofter up the inside of Hoffman, down into turn number 3. Josh Schofter trying to push early, trying to take a race lead away with the 92 Gas-A-Go driver. And Schofter becomes the 3rd different driver to lead the Advanced Auto Parts 156 here from the Phoenix Raceway. Kyle Labrie worked his way up to P3. We talked about Justin Levine, who had the wrong setup, got the right setup in, but he sets all the way back in 12th place now, trying to work his way up just so we could get a couple of stage points out of this race. In the end of stage number 1, Labrie still looking for the inside of Hoffman. That doesn't go anywhere. Look at Paul Schmallenberg, the 72 car, trying to fend off John Mullins on the bottom side, and Souza looking for the top. While David Phillips II looks down on the bottom side, or Paul Daniel II looks down the bottom side, excuse me. That doesn't go anywhere though, so Souza washes up in 3. John Mullins gonna try to take that run away, but Souza just stronger with the outside line. He'll take P8. See a lot of drivers like Paul Daniel II looking for the inside line early here, particularly coming down to the turn 3. It doesn't really go anywhere. They have to brake earlier because of the shallower line. And if they wash up like that, it leaves them under fire. Exactly like Brian Littleton is now applying the pressure to Paul Daniel II in that number 36 car. And that will be a battle of the late breakers up in a 3 and 4. And Littleton wobbly on exit. He'll have to back out. You'll look back up to the race leaders at the moment. Kyle Labrie has been trying to run down Clayton Hoffman. This would be for 4 bonus points in stage number 1 here. And Labrie, you can see, having to struggle a little bit with some connection difficulties that will hopefully get figured out before too long. Labrie started this race at 4th place. He's done a good job to keep himself up there, considering how some other drivers like Noah Bitts already found themselves on the back foot earlier today. And looks like some smoke further in the back. A car into the wall, potentially. Might have been Labrie. But I don't see too much damage on the back of that number 9 car either. So we're looking good for Labrie as well. You'll look a little further back to David Phillip II, who's been trying to run down that number 9 car. Josh Schaffner has not been able to break away from the race lead, though, up in front. Clayton Hoffman has kept it nice and tight on the back bumper of that number 50 car and is looking to potentially try to run him down before stage 1 is concluded. You look at other battles that are closing, though. Bob Paul Dayton II and John Mullins. 64 and the 36 do battle for 9 and 10 down the front straightaway. And just behind them, got guys like Wayne Grossi also looking to throw their head into the ring. Daniel II trying to find that inside, but no dice. And Littleton gonna try to push wide. Look out for the wall. That scares Littleton down to the second lane of the racetrack. Paul Daniel II. Can he find that inside line of the Canterbury Chevrolet of John Mullins? Not this time out of turn 4. Maybe have something for him into 1. To the bottom again, but that's going to cause him to have to break earlier and therefore not going to work his way up into the position. Look further behind. Greg Wyszynski starting to look aggressive with the number 5. Thought about the crossover on Brian Littleton. Wayne Grossi send one up the inside of Greg Wyszynski. But it will be no dice. He can look all he wants, but passing can be so difficult at a track like Phoenix, especially just to get alongside drivers. It's an interesting dynamic. The corners are fast, yet they're also slow. It makes it difficult to make moves, especially since they're so flat. Wyszynski going to be able to make his way up on Brian Littleton. Good, solid pass by the outside for Wyszynski. Grossi's going to follow. Brian Littleton dropping spots fast. Here comes Kenny Powell looking for the inside line while Bitts looks for the outside. They're going to try 3 wide up into turn 1. Littleton loses 2. Now under fire from Justin Levine as well. This is getting a little bit hectic with these guys further in the background here. You got to wonder how this is going to take place. This could be a very interesting dynamic, though, how this battle could play out, especially in these midfield packs. This is where we've been seeing a lot of these battles kind of come to a head here when they get side by side like this. But this one looks like it'll be sort of just in time, and we get set to enter our second half of the stage. Look at Noah Bitts trying the high line, got collected with the second caution after he made 3 wide contact for the race lead. He'll find the outside now of Wayne Grossi, worked his way up into 12th place now, still trying to chase down that top 10. Bitts going to continue to try to work on Wayne Grossi, and as well as that, try to run down Greg Wyszynski. Look out for Kenny Powell finding the outside of the number 7 Chevrolet now. Up front, Paul Dana II up the inside of John Mullins, this time by through 3 and 4. The number 36 car going to be able to make a move here on the 64. Paul Daniel II, excuse me. These Paul Phillip, Paul Daniel. They tend to confuse me a bit more. Mullins gets scared out. Here comes Bitts up the middle, 3 wide, up into turn 3. Wyszynski finds the bottom. John Mullins pulls the outside line, trying to pinch in the 87 car. Is that going to be contact out of turn 4? So close, and Noah Bitts just keeps it out of the number 64. Getting a bit tight, almost getting physical as well. It's Greg Wyszynski going to have to try to be the one now to fight him off around the outside line. That outside line, though, starting to gain momentum, but Bitts has been so good on corner entry here at Phoenix so far. He'll take the inside line away and slide up in front of Wyszynski. As they exit turn 4, he'll take up another spot. That puts Bitts now up into the top 10. Here comes Justin Levine trying to throw his hat into the ring for stage points as well. See the Canterbury and DNA Enterprises number 64 of John Mullins slipping back into the spot as Mullins moves his way into 12th. And immediately diving well below the dog leg to get the position up, get the leg up into turn 1 on Greg Wachinski. Grossi gonna try to put Mullins down in another position. That would be putting them down to 14th now. Wayne Grossi looking for the bottom, but that's not going to go anywhere. Here comes Powell, who's still looking hungry for a couple of positions. And there, just at the head of this train, you see Justin Levine looking to make that swap with Noah Bitts, and he is going to make that spot. Noah Bitts going to lose out here on 10th place, and Levine is back into the points for these stages, and just in time, we're 10 to go in stage 1. Battle on for the race lead. Clayton Hoffman looking to get the leg up on Josh Schofter up into 3 and 4. Started to push up, almost got into the number 50 car. We're starting to battle for a stage 1 win with 9 laps to go, side by side through the dog leg and up in a 1. Labrie waiting in the wings. Schofter though through 1 and 2, just able to pull out a little bit more for Clayton Hoffman. 1 and 2, of course, wider corners but with lower banking than 3 and 4, but just a little. That has so far allowed Schofter to hold that spot, but it's not going to be for long. Hoffman clears and slides up for the race lead in turn 4. And Clayton Hoffman once again leads the Advanced Auto Parts 156. He'll look to potentially come out with a stage 1 victory when everything is said and done in less than 10 laps. Justin Levine has continued to work his way up inside the top 10, looking for the inside of Paul Daniel II up into turn 1. Of course, every point definitely matters here for Justin Levine. Very easy passer for Levine. I wonder if Paul Daniel II kind of let him have that one a little bit easier there with the number 36 car. Of course, Levine is that one driver fighting for a championship. You don't want to be known as that one driver that cost the guy a championship in the season finale. And for the bag, you see Daniel having to kind of step it out a little bit just to kind of avoid hitting that outside wall. Outside wall down the back straightaway there is definitely something that all these drivers have got to get used to on looking out for. Caution flies again. Will Barlow out of 7th place. And then those frontline drivers having a slide. Looks like a single car spin. This will not end the stage, though, as this still came out with over 5 laps remaining. We're going to have a restart here. This will be probably about a 2 or a 3 lap dash to end stage 1 here. So we'll take a quick step away here as we are under caution once again, and we will be back in just a few moments.
Get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. Order online or via our mobile app with Advanced Same Day. Get same day pickup, same day curbside, or same day delivery. Advance your auto. Advance Auto Parts.
So under caution here from Phoenix. Whether this will be a 2 or a 3 lap dash and the stage remains to be seen. Stage ends at the end of lap 40 on regulation time. If needed, we can extend, of course, that stage length out, so we'll have that 2 lap dash. We're currently around at lap 37, which means we'll be having at most a 2 lap dash if the lights go out this time by. And you're just joining us under this caution flag. Will Barlow clipped the apron a little bit in turn 4. He did a solo slide down the front straightaway and didn't catch anybody else up, but he was running 7th place, so it's just unfortunate for him that he got himself collected in all of this. Not surprisingly, a lot of drivers have opted to stay out. Although 11th place on back has come in, so Souza came in, Levine was in, Kozlowski, Mullins, Bitts, Littleton, Grossi, Sanchez. Brandon was back in. Barlow, of course, the driver that spawned a bit further back. So the word is, since this caution, the lights did not go in the pace car this time by, there will be a 1-lap extension here on stage number 1, which means that the end of stage 1 is now going to be the end of lap 41, not the end of lap 40, to account for a 2-lap dash. So 2 miles to go here in stage number 1. This will take 1 lap away from stage 2, which will still be aimed at 85 as originally scheduled. 1 lap extension here for stage 1 to account for the rule that states that a restart for a stage must have at least a 2-lap sprint. Hoffman still leads. Labrie, no doubt, will be trying to hunt down a stage victory. A couple of guys came down to pit under this last caution flag, including guys like Jeffrey Souza and Justin Levine. 11th on back, 10th up, still on old tires. Obviously, what this will mean here for the stage 1 results. Into the restart zone, Hoffman leads this field back to green. 2 laps to go in stage 1. And pit road closed immediately as a result of this 2-lap dash. Levine trying to pull the outside line and take up a couple of more positions. 3 wide, deeper in the field. McMeekin loose. They managed to save it. Souza scrambles to the bottom side. 1 lap to go. Oh, Levine gets sands out. Kozlowski, caution flag flies. And I believe that will be the stage 1 end. Major problems. Watch this one here. Kozlowski too deep into the corner, runs over McMeekin in the 41. And the 88 car and the 41 will go for a spin. Who was that just managed to scramble around his outside? That got all sorts of dicey. I believe that will have been Paul Regni in the 59 car. Got to get a look on board the 59 cars. He just barely shot through the gap around the outside. That 59 car, Paul Regni, had one heck of a run to get around that wreck. Holy cow. Take a look at the incident develop up in front. Kozlowski had to go to the inside. Regni saw the wreck coming and backed out immediately. Jammed the brakes, waited for the gap to form, saw it on the outside, and just went for it. And with that, when that caution came out, there's obviously some pit road confusion. Some drivers not getting the chance to pit. Some guys having to go around again. It is bad news out there for everyone that really didn't come down to pit because of when that caution flag came out. Take a look on board from Paul Regni. So under stage 1 caution here in this race. so under the first competition caution now on the day. Stage 2 coming to the close of 85. We'll take another step away, and we'll be back with a few moments for that Stage 1 restart.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at TheButtKicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
So back live here from the Phoenix Raceway with what was an eventful Stage 1 to say the very least. Your two championship contenders, this is how it looks at the moment. Kyle Labrie has a 3-point gap over Justin Levine. Labrie, of course, having 4 bonus points for that last stage. Levine only gets 1. So the way it sits, if Levine were to win this race, if Labrie were to win this race, he would obviously take that title. But the guys in front have been really, really strong. Now, because of that caution flag, a lot of guys stayed out. Meaning Jeffrey Souza will be the one to take us back to the green flag. Coming to the 3 and 4. What can that Triad Ford Mustang do into the restart zone? Souza leads us back. Bitts immediately jumps to the inside line. John Mullins trying to pull the outside line. And look at Bitts pounding the number 14 car, trying to find some way through for the race lead into turn 1. Doesn't go anywhere, though. Has to back out from the outside line. Look back to the 92 of Clayton Hoffman. Check that. We'll look up front of the lead here. Noah Bitts having a go at Jeffrey Souza up into the race lead, looking for 3 and 4. And Noah Bitts trying to take this one here through the exit of 4. Not going to get there. Has to make this one through the dogleg and down for turn 1. Takes that shorter line like he needs to. And we'll try to dive bomb up into turn 1. That's going to work out for Noah Bitts just nicely. So Bitts finds himself at the front of this thing after being involved in a crash back on lap number 8. Great news for Noah Bitts. Look back to Hoffman and Grassi looking to tango down into turns 3 and 4. Hoffman makes up a spot, though. Pushes his way up at a 4th. And already closed up big time on the back end of John Mullins in his Canterbury number 64 Chevrolet. John Mullins has not necessarily been able to keep a lot of guys behind him, but he starts to slip. He slips back in a hurry. And it will be a similar story here as Hoffman gets set to pull around the outside line. Make this pass up on the exit of turn 4. You see Mullins already losing some speed, trying to hang on, though, through the bottom of the dogleg. Not going to get there, though. Clayton Hoffman will take this one away through 1 and 2 around that outside line. You look deeper in the field, and it is still a hornet's nest of cars back here. Look at Barlow and Phillips going at it. Levine and Daniel going at it further down the field with guys like Kyle Labrie in the mix of things as well. So Justin Levine and Kyle Labrie, just 2 points separate, or just 2 positions separated them, and 3 points separated them on the racetrack. And both drivers trying to work their way up and desperately take whatever positions and points that they can manage to get on each other. Barlow pushing wide through the exit of turn 2. Paul Daniel the second finds the inside of the number 15 car down for 3 and 4, and he will take away a 9th place, Kyle Labrie picks up 10th. Barlow going to slip back to 11th, maybe even 12th. How about up front, Justin Levine looking at the number 19 car, having to go at David Phillips II and trying to get a run on Brian Littleton as well. Levine desperately needs to work whatever spots he can and keep Labrie behind him. Just got to try to tie that gap to make it whoever finishes ahead of the other one wins. He does not want to be in a situation where he needs to hope for Labrie to finish, X amount of positions back. He wants it to just be one spot up, and that's going to be enough. Takes some spot from Phillips. And they're both closing in on Brian Littleton, who's checking this lineup. Oh, hard at the outside wall. Car in behind them. Look out for Will Barlow. The 15 car got into the outside wall. Big time. Labrie taking a slide as well. Down through turn number 4. He'll lose a handful of spots. This is great news for Justin Levine. The way it sits now, that points gap would swing back well in favor of Justin Levine. See Littleton trying to fight off David Phillips II into 3 and 4. That doesn't go anywhere. Look at Littleton now having to work against Schaffner and Paul Daniel II. Josh Schaffner's been up at the front of this thing a good portion of this race so far. Was up in the top 2. Had to come down, though, into the stage 1 caution. Obviously, got fresh tires and fuel. The number 50 car trying to just, hands up, push up the track. Oh, they make contact. Schaffner door to door with Paul Daniel II. They locked wheels. And Schaffner gets away with that. A brilliant save with number 50 car Labrie down the inside to pick up a top 10. Schaffner going for the crossover, though. Going to hunt down the inside of Labrie. Up through 3 and 4. And the number 50 car going to punch his ticket up and down through the dog leg and pick up another one on Kyle Labrie. Josh Schaffner not done fighting this battle just yet. He has wanted to get as many spots as he can because, of course, it's worth noting, he is still fighting for, of course, a points battle over in the regular Cup Series season. Or Super Cup Series season taking center stage tonight. But of course, you've got Josh Schaffner who's running 4th place at the moment in the regular Cup Series season. He needs every spot he can get, and technically racing with Kyle Labrie for 3rd place in points with just 7 separating them in the regular Cup Series season. Oh, and holy cow, Kyle Labrie getting into it. Littleton goes up into the outside wall. But that is why Josh Schaffner is racing Kyle Labrie so hard at the moment. 1 car in the wall, back straightaway. That's Al Kozlowski way to the inside line. The 88 car getting up and tangled up, a bit crossed over. Looks like he hit the outside wall of turn 2, or might just got loose by himself and overcorrected into the inside wall. And that number 88 car is a wounded bird now. Just trying to limp it back to pit road. No caution, we stay green. What a stage 2 this has been so far. Just non-stop action. Grassi picks up in place. I believe that was David Phillips II. That was the 6th. Watch that 89 car, though. Trying to look down the inside of the Ferndale Radio 89 Chevrolet. How about Labrie on the hunt to get some more stage points as well? Side by side with Schaffner. Talk about them in a huge points battle in the regular Cup Series season. We're in the second half of that season now, it's worth noting. And there's just 7 points separated to them for 3rd place. So Labrie's going for a 3rd place in the regular Cup Series season, which is why he has to fight Schaffner. But he's also got to work his way up closer to Justin Levine because he's fighting for a Super Cup Series championship. And Will Barlow officially becomes the first retirement on the night as he bows out of the session. Labrie with the run on Schaffner. Way to the inside. Look out! Sideways. Hang on to it. Labrie manages to save the car, and he'll push up and force Machinsky offline deeper in the field. Pushing too hard for the front line. Number 9. Not a good stage at all for Kyle Labrie, who is just struggling so much at the moment on these longer runs. Trying to just get too much time up on Schaffner and just heated up the back tires. Back and stepped around. Did a great job to wrestle that car to the bottom side, though, to save it. They're starting to lap Roy Hyde up on the top side. Hyde now 1 lap down already. You see Josh Schaffner up the inside of Paul Daniel II, breaking his way up on another position. That'll put him up in 8th place now. Daniel thought about trying to fight back from the outside. That doesn't go anywhere, though. It's not going to stop him from trying to find the inside line, though. 3 and 4 scares Schaffner wide on the exit. A little ways behind you, we got Kenny Powell and Greg Wyszynski, G&G teammates potentially looking to battle as well in the 24 and the number 5 machine. They were about to go side by side through 1 and 2. See Labrie look down and send one up the inside of Paul Daniel II into 3. Oh, and contact between the 36 and the 9. They escaped that one. Wachinski being blocked well onto the dog leg, though. Allows Powell around the outside of Wachinski now in the battle for 11th and 12. And now Paul into the second, finding himself under fire. But you'll manage to weather that storm. Up in front, you've got David Phillips II and John Mullins getting scrappy with each other, along with Wayne Grossi just in the wings. Battles everywhere you look at the moment. So far, this new configuration on Phoenix has been great for the racing so far. It has been a tremendous fight. Oh, Condon behind! McMeekin gets turned, and Labrie hard to the outside wall! Disaster for Kyle Labrie, who gets sent and is stuck in the outside barrier. Could that have just decided the championship? Oh my God. Lap down car. You saw there, just didn't leave Labrie with too much space. Labrie came up, McMeekin came down, they made contact, and McMeekin just hooks Labrie into the outside wall. And that sends Labrie into the outside wall where he gets stuck. You ride aboard Labrie, and I'll tell you right now, I can't repeat the things that Labrie has said over the air, but I'll put it this way. He is livid, and understandably so, fighting for a championship. And that might have just decided it. Labrie effectively out of this race. Hoffman leads. Bitts second. Souza fourth. Levine in fourth place with Susan third. Unbelievable. Coming to 20 to go in stage 2. And for Kyle Labrie, his hopes might be dashed. We'll be back in a moment.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at TheButtKicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
And back live here from the Phoenix Raceway, where we have seen absolute calamity just ensue in stage 2 on what it could be a championship deciding moment for Kyle Labrie. If you're just coming in, we'll refresh your memory. A lap car of McMeekin getting a bit too up close and personal with Kyle Labrie. They made contact, and Labrie got stuck in the outside fence. Now finds himself 3 laps down. Absolute catastrophe for Labrie's championship hopes. He was already up and ahead of Levine with the stage 1 points he got. But with him being 3 down now and still having to fix damage, he is effectively out of this championship fight because of lapped traffic. Gotta be one of the worst possible ways that you could go. The pace car gonna pull down. Levine has basically been handed this race on the silver platter. All he's got to do is finish the dang thing, and he'll be smooth sailing. So Hoffman leads, Bitts second, Souza third, Levine fourth, Mullins fifth, Phillips in 6th for the top 3 rows. under 20 to go in stage number 2. Green flag drops. We are underway. Back with the Advanced Auto Parts 156. A checkup on the bottom side around Wayne Grossi. Sees the 7 car in a pretty perilous position. John Mullins up in front trying to clear. Paul Daniel on the outside. Whoa, look out for the 36. Slides down. Schaffer gets into him. And they manage to survive it coming down into turn number 3. Paul Daniel going to lose a handful of spots as a result of that one. Schaffer gets one up on Wayne Grossi. John Mullins looking clear up in front. You got Wayne Grossi just in behind trying to look up the inside of Schaffner now into turn number 3. Schaffner with the sander on the outside of John Mullins, and that's going to pay off for Schaffner. What a drive on the outside line to pick one up from the Canterbury 64. Levine battling for 3rd place. As you can see, Schaffner trying to find the outside line, and David Phillips the 2nd, which he will do. Levine looking for 2nd place while Schaffner makes one up at a 4th place. Watch out for the 50 car. He is on a chart. And understandably so, having pitted under this latest caution to take tires. Schaffner is there on the inside of Noah Bitts. Will he make it 3 wide into turn 3? Thought about it, but decides he's not going to wipe out Levine just yet. Levine pushes up. Schaffner goes through. That's 2nd place now for the number 50. Josh Schaffner going to try to carry this momentum all the way up to Clayton Hoffman, who's got about 30 lap older tires than him, and try to take that race lead away for a stage 2 victory. So some crazy speed for the number 50 car on that fresh rubber, really showing just how powerful a new set of tires can be even in a short sprint at Phoenix. Hopping further behind, though, in the battle for 8th place, Paul Daniel II trying to keep Paul Schmallenberg at bay while trying to run down John Mullins. This guy's looking left, right, and center. Daniel trying to find the inside of Mullins, doesn't go anywhere. Schmallenberg trying to carry around the outside line. And all this while Schaffner takes the lead away from Hoffman in turn 1. So Josh Schaffner is now going to find himself well up into the race lead here, and he'll be able to run away with a stage 2 win. Coming to 11 laps to go here in stage 2 of 3. Schmallenberg still under fire from Greg Wyszynski for the final stage place in 10th. Schmallenberg working that top line, trying to carry the momentum around the exit of 1 and 2. He'll get that pass back on Wyszynski. Won't stop that gas and go driver, though, from hunting down the inside line, trying to pick up whatever time he can possibly get from Paul Schmallenberg. Battle still picking on elsewhere up as well. Look back to Jeffrey Souza, who's having a bit of a fight for a second before he got loose out of turn 4 and lost time to Noah Bitts. You've also got Silva's fight with John Mullins and the guy right up behind Paul Daniel II trying to close in time. Bit more, I want to say, organized, so to speak, now that everybody's kind of found their own little place in the running order. Schmallenberg getting sideways, though, on the exit of turn 4. He's going to lose some time back to Wyszynski now in the middle of this group. He's still looking to potentially apply the pressure on that 72 car. He's been getting a bit loose a couple of times out of these corners. If he could just put a little bit more onto him, Schmallenberg could find himself breaking loose out of these corners, which would give it an easy spot up to Wachinski. See the 72 car is starting to defend now here on corner entry. That's the mistake that Wachinski needed, pushing wide in 3 and 4. Wachinski finds the inside. Look out! Oh, Daniel hard to the outside wall, just behind this train. Holy cow! Get another look on that with Paul Schmallenberg. The 72 car just had the best save and the best wreck avoidance we have seen so far all season long, I want to say. Just avoided. I want to say this. That was not even skill trying to find the gap. That was just pure luck for the 72 car. Watch this. You can see Daniel break loose on the bottom, slide up, and just, oh! That is, like I said, that's just pure luck there that he managed to shoot that gap there. Holy cow. And now under fire from Brian Littleton. Littleton's going to drop back to 11th place. Schmallenberg picks up 10th as we are 4 laps to go in stage number 2. Look at the battle for 4th and 5th. Noah Bitts being attacked by Jeffrey Souza up into turn 1. Souza trying to find a bit more time and maybe one extra stage point. Just behind these guys, David Phillips II losing a bit of time back to Wayne Grossi as well. It's a 4-car battle at the moment for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And it'll be 2 to go in stage 2 this time by. Al Kozlowski becomes the 2nd driver to be on official retirement here on the day. Kyle Labrie, though, an unofficial 3rd. Pit road is closed this time by. With 2 to go in stage number 2. See Grossi trying to attack with kind of shorter lines. Shallower lines than David Phillips II. The final lap here now in stage number 2, we could see a big send for position here. So watch these battles. Wayne Gross trying to run down David Phillips II. You've got still Noah Bitts and Souza looking to tango for 4th place as well. Souza looking low on Noah Bitts down the back straightaway. Gonna get a run here on the 87 car. He'll have this one up for 3 and 4. Schofter gonna come out of turn 4. He'll win stage 2, but here's the drag race. Souza pushing up and going to have to back out of that one. Bitts hangs on. What a fight for 4th place at the end of stage 2. And stage 2 officially comes to a close as the caution flies. And still, plenty more racing left to go. 70 laps left on the clock. We'll take one more step away, and we'll be back for stage 3.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at TheButtKicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
So back live here at the end of stage number 2, where Josh Schaffner took a race victory, but we're not able to dial up Josh Schaffner, so instead, we will dial up your stage 2 runner-up, along with stage 1 winner, Clayton Hoffman, joined us up at the broadcast booth. And Clayton, I'll say this, you've had a good running so far today, and obviously brand new scan here at the track, released just 1.5 weeks ago. What's your take on it so far?
It's not what I expected. For whatever reason, the middle high lanes seem to be faster as the tires wear. So, yeah, it's not as fun as I would have hoped it would be. I always like Phoenix when you can run down by the apron there in the flat corner. So, I mean, it's still pretty eventful, though. There's a lot of action going on.
A lot of action indeed, and so far you mentioned that it obviously drives different than you'd expect it to, and different from what it was before Iverson had this rescan. Do you, with the strong performance you've had in these first 2 stages, though, do you think you have any goals in mind of where you want to find this race ending up as we get closer to the end?
Gonna go for a win. Looks like whatever Levine did has worked. His car is pretty fast. Schaffner's really fast on the short run, so maybe I'll get lucky and we'll go green this whole stage, see how long it plays out.
Only one way to find out, that's obviously to wait and see. Well, you'll slice down the pace cars, so we'll wrap this up here. Clayton, before we let you go, anybody you like to shout out for that 92 Chevrolet?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Rocket Racing Setups. I actually just joined them earlier this week. Pretty fast car. Trying to just, make some little improvements, make it a little faster.
And thank you, Clayton, for taking the time to come up here and join us. Best of luck here on the Stage 3 restart.
Thank you.
That's Clayton Hoffman in the number 92 car, bringing it up. Winner Stage 1, runner-up in Stage 2. Let's see where he finishes out here in Stage number 3. Gonna get ready to get this race back underway. 66 laps remaining. Green flag back in the air. And not a good restart for Clayton Hoffman this time by Levine. Picks up the second place already down to the turn 1. Justin Levine looking to go on the charge, trying to take the race lead away from Josh Schaffner. And caution flies immediately. Big crash. Labrie again collected in it. And collected this time with Matthew McMeekin for a second time. So this will be interesting. They tangled earlier and it cost Labrie a championship. I wonder if maybe, just maybe, emotions got the better of the number 9 car. Take a look at this one here. Coming around through 1 and 2. Now, I'm supposed to remain impartial on stuff like this, but I'll kind of keep myself professional here, and I'll say, I think we'll take a look at the wheel motions here, and it'll tell the whole story. It'll speak for itself. Listen in. I think that tells you all you need to know about exactly what went down there. Labrie, of course, got screwed out of a championship earlier today by the same driver in a lap car incident about a couple of cautions ago, roughly 50 laps or so back. And he already found himself, remember, 20 laps down. Fortunately, that's not something you can really recover from. So Labrie's not happy. I can guarantee you McMeekin isn't happy anymore. Levine is probably grinning a little bit to himself because this makes him a bit further secure in his championship bid. Labrie's brought it back down pit road. McMeekin has kept this one out there a bit longer. I wonder if Labrie's going to call it quits here. It's all all kind of come into hand for Justin Levine. It's kind of fallen into the number 19 car's lap. He's been so dominant so far today, but started on the back foot. Didn't have a good run through stage 1. It had a better run in stage 2. But I think Labrie still would have placed a bit higher. And Labrie looks like he will be parking it for the race. I usually speak a little bit more under this caution flag periods, and the reason why I'm being a bit more silent here at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, is because, well, I'm honestly at a bit of a loss. I'm at a loss at the moment as to what to say. I mean, there's already been so much that has happened throughout the first 94 laps of this race. And so many huge implications, championship-wise, in both the regular Cup Series as well as the Super Cup Series. It's a brand new scan. And you heard Clinton Hoffman drive. It doesn't drive anything like the previous version did. But the outside lane is so much stronger. It kind of speaks for itself, really. I mean, this race has been... It's been eventful. It's been dramatic. And Labrie has officially taken his number 9 frontline machine to the garage. And he is effectively out of a title fight. Shoffman's your race leader. Champion contender Justin Levine on his outside. He'll take them to the Geico restart zone. And we get back underway with 61 laps remaining in this race. Levine covers off. Hoffman immediately from the inside line. Bitts trying to find the top side up into turn 1. Shoffman's going to hold it, though. Watch Grassi and Phillips behind them. Get a bit tight through the middle of 1 and 2, but they hold firm. Oh, Hoffman sideways, power slided it out at 4, down through the dog leg. Now Kaufman's spot up to 2 minutes. Now this whole thing has made this fuel strategy quite interesting for this race. The estimated fuel window you could run is about 59 laps. We had 66 to go though when we went green. And of course 61 laps to go on this latest restart, of which I can guarantee guys were saving fuel under that caution. So I wonder if these guys might actually just be a little bit safe to make it to the end of the race on fuel. It could be tough, but I think they might be able to stretch it out here. So I'll be curious to see if we'll make stops mid-stage or if they're going to opt to try to push this one to the end. Man, look at Justin Levine trying to fight that inside line from Josh Schaffner. I mean, he's basically got the championship won already. But that's not going to stop that number 19 car from trying to go for another race win, just to end the season on a high. Top 4 all under Blank and Levine. Once again, trying to run that apron to pull some speed around Schaffner. These tighter entries only end up hurting you in the longer run. It's not going to stop Clayton Hoffman and Noah Bitts, I imagine, from trying to make their run up and see if they can go for a race win. You heard Hoffman. It doesn't drive like he thought it would. He wishes it had been a bit funner, but that's not going to stop that 92 car, I imagine, from trying to put in everything to go for a race win here. And this time Levine finds the inside of Schaffner up into turn 1, and the 19 car looking to pile on the pressure. Schofter trying to cover him off out of 2. He'll have a run down the back straightaway, but it won't be enough. Levine still there at his quarter panel. But with the higher banking of the outside line, Schofter is able to pull away and around from the top lane. Look at how far down Levine goes that time by to try to get a run on him through the dogleg up at a 1, but this time not close enough to try to initiate a pass. Close enough to almost bump him down to the back straightaway, though, and he'll be close enough to definitely send one into 3. This time, pulls the nose ahead, trying to push up, but he's not clear. Schofter still holds firm from the outside. Just 3 thou separating them last time by at start-finish. Levine trying to work to the bottom. Look out for Schofter, though. Going to try to push up, and just can't get the hammer down. It's a problem. He has so many 1.5 miles lately. But, of course, that runs the high downforce, low horsepower package. This track, the low downforce, high horsepower package. So it's a lot more down to driver than it is about car. And this is just these drivers utilizing the different lines throughout the track. Levine holds the lead. Hoffman to the inside of No Bits. He'll pick up 3rd. No Bits, though, going to try a crossover. Thinks better of it, though, down in the turn 3. .50 laps to go this time by on the Super Cup Series season with Advanced Auto Parts 156 from Phoenix Raceway here in Avondale, Arizona. Right on board with Clayton Hoffman as he tries to run down Josh Schofter, thinking for the inside, but no space through 3 and 4. He'll try to pull what little draft he can out of turn 4 through that dogleg and down to 1. Schofter pushed a bit further up the track this time, up into the top lane where the speed is. It's been there for him all race long so far, and sure enough, Hoffman pulls alongside on corner entry, but is not able to properly mount a charge down that backstretch into 3. A lot of drivers are starting to kind of opt for that top line. They're starting to kind of fade off just a tad more up to the outside line, particularly through 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Bottom still tends to be the line of choice for a lot of drivers, particularly if you're wanting to try to mount a charge on somebody. But that middle of the high line through 1 and 2, that has been where a lot of the speed has been once you get deeper into a tire run so far. And we heard Clayton Hoffman, when we talked to him at the end of stage 2, kind of talking about that as well, about that's where all the speed is at the moment on a long run. But the driver in front of him, Josh Schofter, is doing a great job on covering it off to make sure that Hoffman can't get a drive out of there himself. Looks like Hoffman's going to try to open up another lane up on the top side, getting way up and into the marbles, but look at the run. He carries out of 2 as a result. That's going to give him the speed he needs down the back straightaway. So Clayton Hoffman adapting to the track, finding the inside line, trying to go for the slider up on Schofter, but there's no space through 4 to make it. Just about a couple of inches, not clear enough. So Schofter gets the run on him back down through 3 and 4, excuse me. Hoffman's got the line for 1. look at just how much more speed Josh Schoffer can carry around the outside line. Hoffman just can't do anything about it. It's just a passer for the inside line, has to back off because he's being side dragged and pulled up into the number 50 car. And all of this is slowly allowing for guys like Noah Bitts and Wayne Grossi to be able to work their way around him and work their way up to them. The lap start to tick away. You see Paul Daniel second on the bottom side. The number 36 driver 1 lap down from 16th place now. And it'll be an easy pass for these drivers to take him around the outside line. So that 92 car started to adapt a bit more to the outside line. So trying to get all these runs around the bottom side of the racetrack so far, but recently has been pushing further and further up towards that outside wall, trying to carry some of the momentum that he's been seeing Shaw to be able to get off these corners, and it is certainly paying off for him. I mean, you look at how he's been able to close up on Josh Shaw so far. That 50 car has been running. He's been running absolutely the perfect defense so far against Clayton Hoffman. This entire stint so far, Hoffman has just not been able to get by him. Clayton might have to try something desperate if he ever wants to try to get past him. Of course, Hoffman, in the midst of a title battle himself, we're trying to close the gap with Justin Levine in the main Cup Series, of which there's a current 53-point gap between your top 2 drivers. Both drivers with 2 wins so far this season, along with 4 top 5s. Levine's trying to make that 3 for the 4th and final season of 2021. Unfortunately for Hoffman, even if he gets past Josh Shofton, that's not going to stop Justin Levine from being, up there in the race lead, and still consistently, 3 to 4 tenths of a lap quicker than these guys behind him. Oh, look at how close he is this time by, almost close to the bump draft. Will he have the look in turn 1? He will. Hoffman back down to the bottom. But look at Schaffner ripping the top line as Hoffman pushes out, not letting Schaffner pinch him down this time around. Close enough to touch as they exit off of turn 2. But once again, Hoffman's forced to yield. And there is Noah Bitts and Wayne Grossi, the drivers that might be looking hungry for podium positions tonight. Another lunge, but this one isn't going to play out nearly the way Hoffman needs it to. Once again, Schaffner just able to rip that top line, and it's no contest this time. Hoffman was not able to even get close to completing the pass that last time around. Schaffner looking low. Hobbs got to run the outside line. And Schaffner coming into pit road. So looks like they cannot make it to the end of this race. Josh Schaffner is in at lap 124 with 32 laps remaining. He's also down with Greg Wyszynski. Both those drivers were out there for the same amount of time, which puts a big question mark on the rest of the field. Noah Bitt's making the call. He's coming in this time by. So this does appear to be the case. No, not everybody is able to make it to the end of this race. Look at Noah Bitt's coming in. There's Schmallenberg coming in behind him, and I believe that's John Mullins way further back as well. Oh, Paul Daniel, hard to the outside wall, back down to the inside wall. The 36 car with a major crash back straightaway. Body slammed the outside wall after he got loose and overcorrected in turn 2. And that shot his car back into the inside wall. 2 very hard hits, but nobody was around him, so no caution. We'll keep it green. Watch it again here. Lose the back end, overcorrects, outside wall, and then back down to the bottom. Huge hits for the 36 car, who's already running the wounded bird. Wayne Grassi has pulled down the pit road now. Justin Levine has continued to stay out along with Clayton Hoffman. Phillips is yet to come on down. Same story with Roy Hyde, Jeffrey Souza as well. Paul Daniel II coming in this time by. Paul Regney has stayed out. Same story with Randy Drumhiller, Mark Sanchez, Jeffrey Souza. Littleton's in this time by. One by one, drivers will start to come on down. And this could be a deciding factor in how this race plays out. Does Levine have enough to make it to the end? So far, pretty much everybody in pit road, in fact, everybody in pit road is taking 4 tires and fuel. Meaning they are going to be, they're going to be, pushing really hard to catch up to guys like Justin Levine and unlap themselves. Which means that if Justin Levine ends up not being able to make it, he could potentially lose the race lead with how slow he's going to be on those much older tires. Randy Drumhiller is down to pit road this time by. Clayton Hoffman clutching, coasting through turns 1 and 2. As is Justin Levine. They think they might be able to stretch this one to the end of this race. Crucial moments at this point in time. If you're going to go for that strategy of pushing to the end of this race, you got 26 laps to go. You're going to have to do quite a bit of safety, but if we talked about this under the caution, it might just be possible by the slimmest of margins. Roy Hyde is the furthest driver down that is yet to come on down to pit road, but he was already 1 lap down. In fact, he still is a lap down. He's been out there for 38 laps so far. Lead lap drivers that have yet to come in is everybody so far within the top 6. Levine, Hoffman, Phillips, Souza, Regney, and Sanchez. Everybody else has already been in. The 2 we're watching, though, is Clayton Hoffman and Justin Levine. The gap for the race lead, 2.4 seconds apart. And both drivers clutch and coasting to the max. Kenny Powell bails out of the go-to-the-end strategy. He's down to pit road this time by. I cannot remember the last time I got to call a proper fuel mileage race, and I have to say, I've been missing it. The tension on seeing that these guys can make it, and when as you get closer and closer, the potential of running out of fuel just seconds from the end. It's almost addicting. the lap times have dropped off so significantly for guys like Clayton Hobbit. I mean, you take a look at the start of these runs, they're running 27-second times, 27.4s and such. Now, though, they're all starting to consistently run, 28-second times, high 27s at best. Paul Daniel II has brought his car down the pit road as Josh Schaffner and Noah Bitts get set to unlap themselves from Clayton Hobbit. Hobbit looking to pinch them down, looking to fight them here. He's trying to make sure he loses as little time as possible. Hobbit's going to eventually lose those spots, though. You look up to Levine for that brief moment as there's Bitts and Schaffner going at it for P6. They're good to go to the end, and Bitts throwing it down the inside of Schaffner. I tell you what, if a caution comes out now, Levine and Hoffman will have shot themselves in the foot with this strategy to try to stay out at the end. They need to hope this race goes green. Oh, Regni up the road, locked up a little bit and causing him to back out from Justin Levine. But you can see this battle for second place still raging on. Bitts versus Schaffner. Schaffner was in the lead for a good portion of this race early in stage number 2 when he came down early. Got some fresh tires before the end of the stage. And they're being checked out by race leader Justin Levine at the moment. Look at Schaffner looking to the inside. Might be 3 wide for a moment. Regni backs out, takes the wise move there as Levine fails out on the high side. I'll get the 87 and the 50 here. Nice and close through the dog leg. So both Bitts and Schaffner are now back on the lead lap. 28 seconds, and so far, they are consistently 0.8 of a second faster than Justin Levine. With 18 laps to go, they will not be able to catch him in time. They'll get pretty close to it. There's a caution flag that could screw them. Wayne Grossi spun around back straightaway. Got into it with Greg Wachinski for the sounds of it. This could shoot Levine and Hoffman in the foot here. Potential loss of several spots. They were laps down, battling for position through 1 and 2. We'll take a look at it. Big damage on Grossi's front end. Watch this here. Wachinski starts pinched out as Grossi comes up, and Grossi clears himself and rebounds from the outside wall and the head-on impact down to the inside. A terrible situation for him as Souza comes down pit road. So is your top 4. That was the caution the guys that were trying to go to the end was hoping would not happen, and there you see the hit right there for Wayne Grossi. Big shot to the outside wall. You're talking about a bad time for a caution to come out, and, well, this would be it for guys like Clayton Hoffman, Phillips, Levine, Souza. Schaffner's going to take the race lead. And this is like I said, it could be a bad situation, but it could also be a dream situation for them. Hoffman comes out, but he's still P3, Levine P2. They might have just been able to get away with that. Everybody in front of these guys is going to be looking to potentially get a run back to the caution flag. They'll get the lap back that way. Oh, man. It'll be under 15 laps to go when this race gets restarted, and we are not even close to getting this thing wrapped up. Josh Schaffner, your race leader, but on 16 lap older tires. We'll take a quick step away, and we'll be back for the final 15 in just a moment.
Get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. Order online or via our mobile app with advanced same-day. Get same-day pickup, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. Advance your auto. Advance Auto Parts.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at TheButtKicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
One lap to green. For guys like Josh Schaffner, 13 laps to decide who wins this race. Everybody that had stayed out under the caution flag is going to take their last back, including 9th place along with 10th, 11th, and then Kenny Powell, who's down in 16th. So everybody from 2nd on back to 8th is on the same tire strategy. Josh Schaffner, though, 16-lap older tires from Levine. He is going to be under heavy fire down to the turn 1. And another caution? Certainly not out of the question. Take it to the restart zone. Leave it in the hands of the number 50 car. Back to green. 13 laps to go in the Advanced Auto Parts 156. Levine looking to crowd. Schaffner gonna go for the dive up into turn number 1. Levine wasting no time at all. Put the front line number 19 back to the race lead. Hoffman looks to follow. Hoffman will pick up 2nd place. And Souza trying to go side by side behind. Look at Bitts under fire. Phillips down the inside of Schaffner to turn 3. So Schaffner's gonna lose out. Gonna go 3 wide through the dog leg with Schaffner on the top side. Bitts bows out. Gonna go 3 wide again to the turn 1. Schaffner looking to close in on Noah Bitts. But there's nothing the number 50 car can do. Bitts picks up the spot from Jeffrey Souza. A bobbled over Bitts almost sends him into the outside wall. Paul Smallenberg gaining some more time. He'll work his way up past John Mullins and trying to make one as well past Mark Sanchez here in the middle. If he can get up past number 31 car. Good run for Mark Sanchez today. Started 19th, didn't set a qualifying lap. He's now well up into the top 10. Same for Jeffrey Souza. Souza 15th place. He's up to 5th now. Great runs from both those drivers. And Sanchez going to make it one more as he gets past Josh Schaffner down to the turn 1 here, up into potentially 6th place. Maybe not, though. Schaffner looking to already rip that top side early on. Keep saving time. I don't think it's going to be for long. And that time by Schaffner backs out. Smallenberg going to go at him as well. And now Smallenberg trying to work up the inside of Sanchez. Sanchez too deep into turns 1 and 2. Heads up for the 31, but look at the run. Diamonds off turn 2. He gets that run that he needs down that back straightaway to hang on to 6th place. Under 10 laps remaining now here from Phoenix. And it is the Justin Levine show up in front. Nobody able to get close to the number 19 car. Hoffman already starting to fade. You got Phillips down in 3rd. And Noah Bitts is not able to reel into the 3rd place driver either. That's not to say, though, that nothing can happen yet, because there's still some distance left in this race. And these races have a tendency of kind of getting kicked off when you least expect it. That's how we even got to this restart situation in the first place, from the fuel mileage run. Hoffman starting to close a little bit on Justin Levine. Nearly grazed the outside wall. Kind of gained a little bit through 1 and 2, trying to close in a bit more on 3 and 4. Last time by, Hoffman just a couple hundredths quicker. Don't count that 92 car out of this race just yet. He's still got some fight in him with 5 to go this time by. So now, with what will be 4 laps remaining, Just Levine still holds tough for that race lead, trying to keep Clayton Hoffman of the 92 car at bay. The Ferndale Radio 89 has been trying to close in to see if he can pick up a second place, but that has not been able to happen so far. Wachinski pulls to the inside, lets the leaders through with no incident, except for David Phillips II had to scramble wide. And look out for Noah Bitts, now going to put the number 89 car under fire for third. Here comes Noah Bitts. Got checked up by a lap car, and that's going to allow now Bitts up into third. Phillips trying to go for the crossover out of turn 2, down the back straightaway. Coming to 2 to go. The Ferndale Radio 89 Chevrolet not able to find his way back down the inside. Look out for Souza, who's looking to potentially get a run up into 4th just behind them. Do they make it back to the white flag? I'd be surprised if they couldn't, because a lot of the guys behind them are so far apart you wouldn't expect to see a yellow flag now. Souza looking, not close enough. Still second, can't do anything as Justin Levine going to take the white flag. Race is official, season is official for Justin Levine. He came into the season strong, and he has maintained this dominant performance, has won so many races throughout the course of the Super Cup Series season. And now, with these 2 more quarters, it is my pleasure to say Justin Levine is going to be the 2021 ButtKicker Super Cup Series champion. The 19 car gets it done from Phoenix as he wins the Advanced Auto 156. What a commanding drive from the number 19 car to put that car out in front when it needed to be there. What a shame for Kyle Labrie. Got wrecked out of this race early by lap traffic. And Levine, your champion in 2021. Jeffrey Souza pulling up alongside, giving his congratulations and a congratulatory pump to the number 19. And Levine will get to burn it down on the front straightaway. Let's take a look at your official post-race results from here, the season finale. Levine, your new champion, going to be taking victory by just under a second from Clayton Hoffman. Noah Bitts picks up 3rd place with David Phillips II down in 4th. Souza is in 5th place. Paul Schmallenberg is in 6th. Mark Sanchez 7th. Schaffner 8th. Littleton 9th. Randy Drumhill in the last car in the lead lap down in 10th place. From there, it's John Mullins with Paul Regney in 12th. Ray Wachinski is 13th. Roy Hyde is 14th. Powell 15th. Grossi 16th. Paul Daniel II not finishing this race down to 17th place with McMeekin at 18th. Labrie 19th. Al Kozlowski in 20th place with Will Barlow down in 21st place. We'll take a look at all the drivers from your top 3. And this time around, since we, of course, have a champion that we're going to be talking to later tonight, we're going to start things off from the bottom. We'll save the best for last. Noah Bitts, you bring it home in 3rd place in the season finale here in the Super Cup Series season. And overall, a strong performance from you today sees you up on the podium.
Yeah, fought back hard. I didn't know my car was going to have it in it still, but it still ran pretty good, even after hitting the wall.
Of course, it was a brand new scan of this track that we come to today. First time it's ever been run here in the ISCA. It was only released a week and a half ago. Quite the eventful race, more so than I thought it was going to be. How did it look like from your perspective?
Really slippery at first. I tried to tighten the car as much as I could, but overall, it's a really fun track, and I'm ready to come back.
And, of course, you still have the main Cup Series that is still underway with a few more races left in its season before we wrap things up in Tyler for the ICA in 2021. You're currently a little bit further down to the points in there, but do you plan on making a potential run at a few more spots before season's end?
I'm not sure how the points are going to shake out, but I'm just trying to go up here and have fun and race with these guys and make sure we get some more competition in here and just keep at it.
So far, you have certainly been able to give a lot of good competition for us so far this year, and hopefully we'll be able to see you back up here on the podium in the next week's time. Before I let you go here, though, Noah, anybody you'd like to shout out for that number 87 car?
Just everyone who puts on these races. I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys.
And thank you, Noah, for taking the time to come on up here and join us in the broadcast booth. Congrats on a 3rd-place finish, and best of luck next week in what could be Homestead, but we'll wait and see.
10-4, thank you.
That brings up our runner-up here on the day. Clayton Hoffman brings it home with the number 92 machine. And, well, Clayton couldn't quite get that race win today, but overall, second place, still nothing to be sad about.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty much the same thing as last week. So, second best place I could finish in. We're pretty fast on the long run. Didn't have too many really long runs with all the cautions going on, and I didn't realize I was as slow as I was on the short run. So it was kind of a struggle there just to keep up, really.
We saw the strategy trying to play out between you and Levine. I believe to potentially try to stretch it to the end. Was that the goal, to see if you can make it to that last lap? And had that caution not come out, do you think you would have made it?
I definitely would not have made it. I didn't plan for it. I probably was going to be about a lap short, so the plan was just to stay out as long as I possibly could and hope for a caution.
And of course, with this Super Cup Series season being wrapped up now, you still got the regular Cup season to look forward to all the same. Do you plan on potentially seeing if you can give Levine a run for his money to see if you can maybe snag a Cup Series championship away to end off 2021?
I'll try my best, just like I do every week.
Amen to that, brother. So before I let you go here, Clayton, anybody you'd like to shout out for that number 92 machine?
Yeah, thanks to Rocket Racing Setups. Thanks to Advanced Auto Parts for sponsoring the race. Thanks for ButtKicker for sponsoring the series, and thank you for all you do in the booth.
Thank you, Clayton, for joining us up here in the booth here from second place. Congrats on that podium finish. Best of luck in 1 week's time.
Thank you.
And that will move us on to, last but certainly not least, Justin Levine brings it home, not just race winner, but season champion for the 2021 Super Cup Series season as well. Justin, what a run for you today. You looked like you might be on the back foot. You lost out to Kyle Labrie in qualifying, lost out to him on stage 1, but you managed to crawl back and eke out that win and the title here in the last 2 stages.
Man, I can't believe it. I should have practiced. I felt very comfortable after NIS yesterday. I finished second at that. And I was just very confident in the car. I was like, I don't need to practice. We're ready to go. And I went into qualifying, and the brake just went right to the floor. And I was like, uh-oh, something's wrong. And I tried to fix it before the race started. That didn't help. It was too sensitive, kept locking it up. And every single time I pitted, even the last pit stop, I recalibrated the pedals every single stop. And thankfully, they worked on that last run.
I guess in that case, it is also good news, somewhat good news, of course, unfortunate news for your teammate and title competitor Kyle Labrie with his incidents early on. I have to say, kind of was handed to you a little bit on a silver platter throughout all of this one, but had that not been the case, and had you been able to fight with Labrie, would you have played team orders with each other, or would it have been every man for himself?
Every man for themselves. Kyle and I already had the agreement.
That's the way.
Gloves off. May the best man win. And with the brake trouble, I really thought Kyle was going to have the upper hand. And unfortunately, with his situation, it ended his night early.
It's unfortunate for him, but obviously, fortune smiles upon you tonight as you took that win and, of course, the championship. Still one more title to go here in, of course, 2021, and that is the regular ButtKicker Cup Series Championship. Final one on 2021. You entered this race 53 points to the good. You extend that by just a little bit more here at Phoenix. I imagine you're going to be planning on getting yet another one for yourself and the frontline crew in the few weeks' time here.
Always trying. That's always the goal. Bring the best equipment that we could bring, and hopefully see you in victory lane next week.
As, of course, always going to be the goal. And Justin, it's been a pleasure having you up here in the booth once again. Before we let you go, anybody you'd like to shout out for that Frontline Esports number 19?
Shout out to you guys and Kenny for putting this on and doing this for us week in and week out. Can't wait to go back and watch the broadcast. You guys do such a great job. Everybody at Frontline building this car. This car was absolutely awesome. Shout out to Tony and Bruzy Racewear, ButtKicker, and I think that's about it.
And thank you, Justin, for taking the time once again to come up here and join us. Congratulations on not just a victory, but a championship in the Super Cup Series season. Hopefully, you'll be able to go for one more later on this year.
Thank you.
And, well, that is going to be a wrap for not just our interviews, but, in fact, the 2021 ButtKicker Super Cup Series season here for the ISCA Stock Car Association. What an emotional season finale. Drama everywhere you looked on a brand new scan. saw us with one wild season finale that we are not bound to forget anytime soon. For now, though, I've been Old Rambo, bringing you all the coverage here from start to finish with Rob Melnick down behind the cameras for tonight's race. Thank you for joining us for the Advanced Auto Parts 156, where we leave with the new champion crowned in Justin Levine.